Hi and welcome to the next tutorial. In today's lesson we'll learn how to recreate this very simple isometric text using Adobe Illustrator. So anyways guys, let's jump in. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to create a new document. I'm just going with 1920 by 1080. I then am going to grab the T tool and I'm just going to write some text on my screen. And I'm just going to change the font size. I'm going to bring it up. And I'm going to make sure that it's all caps, and I'm just going to change the font to ISO black. Now you can use any font that you want, just make sure it's a nice thick font, and once you're happy with that, cool. So now I'm just going to align that to the middle of my artboard. So I'm just going to click on that, go into my align tools, and then go horizontal align and vertical align. Cool. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to just change that color to a gray, and this just makes it easier to see what's actually happening later on. Once we've done that, we then can go into our effect, 3D extrude and bevel, and it's looking pretty cool already, but we want an isometric look, so we are going to go and choose isometric top. Now you can change the extrude depth if you want here, but I'm going to stick with 50 for now. And then just everything else you can press OK. So once you've done that, you then need to go and you need to expand the appearance, which is in object. Once you've done that, you then highlight it all and you need to ungroup it until you can't ungroup anymore. So that's twice. And now you can actually edit these individual letters, and so this is how we are going to change the color. So I'm just going to get my color palette, which I downloaded from Color Hunt, and I'm just going to keep it here as a reference, and I'm just going to hold shift and click on all of the top faces of these letters, and I'm just going to grab the eyedropper tool and then click on that color. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to put all these colors on this face, and we are just going to hold shift, highlight them all, and then again, same thing. Now when you get to any curves in any of your letters, what you need to do is you will need to actually make sure that you get the whole thing, because otherwise you'll only just be getting a little part of it. Cool. So now we're up to the final color. So again, it's the same thing. All we need to do is just make sure that we highlight all of those faces and then use the eyedropper tool to change the color. Cool. So it's looking pretty good. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to add a stroke to all of it. So we're going to highlight all of those letters, and then we are just going to change the stroke color to black, and we are just going to increase the stroke to about 2. Now what happens there is you're going to get all these lines and these little things that pop out. Now to fix that, it's pretty easy. All we need to do is just go back into our stroke, so we can highlight it all again, and we just have to click on the word stroke, and we just have to change this to a round join, and you can see there that fixes that up pretty quickly. Now the other thing that we need to do is we need to join all of these sections together. So to do that, you will have to hold and click all of them, and then you go into your Pathfinder tool, and then you can go to Unite, and that will create a nice shape out of those two shapes that you already had. Now sometimes they can, give you a nice effect if you have it split, but also sometimes for letters like that, you don't really need it there. So that's looking pretty good at the moment. Okay, the next thing and the final thing that we need to do is we need to add a shadow. So to add the final shadow, it's really quite simple. All we need to do is we just need to make sure that we've got all of our top faces selected, and then we go and press Ctrl C to copy, and then we will press paste in front. And then we need to change the color of that to black, just so that we can see it. And then we are going to send that to the back. And with that still selected, we need to go to Effect, Distort and Transform, then back to Transform, and we need to change some of these values. So the copies we're going to put at 50, the horizontal we're going to put at 0.1, and the vertical we're going to put at 1. And you can see there it's got that tiny bit of a shadow that kind of pops out. So I'm going to press OK, and I'm just going to lower that to probably around about 40%, something like that. Cool. So now once we've done that, the last thing that we need to do is just put a background in there. So I've just created a new layer, and I'm just going to be using a gradient out of some of these colors. So make sure you're on that new layer, and we're just going to draw a rectangle that will cover the whole screen. And then we're going to click on our gradient tool over here. And all you have to do is click inside the rectangle, and now we can start to change some of these colors. So you can double click it and then put your colors that you want in. And then you can move it around however you want, or you can click it again and you can change the direction of it. And that's about it. So anyways guys, I hope you learned something, and I will see you next time.